Michael Jackson's story is not just about fame. It is about resilience, pain, and a journey that took him from a child in a small town to a global icon. His life, full of contradictions and complexities, remains one of the most intriguing, heart-wrenching, and inspiring tales in the world of entertainment. And while the world saw the famous performer, the king of pop, the real story was much more intricate, a tale of inner struggles, self-discovery, and a quest for peace in a life that was often out of his control. Born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, Michael was the eighth of 10 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joe Jackson, was a strict, hard-working man who saw the potential for greatness in his children, particularly in Michael. From an early age, Michael's extraordinary talent was apparent. He could sing and dance, and the Jackson family saw an opportunity to make it big. What began as a family band, the Jackson 5, soon became a global sensation, but with success came unimaginable pressure. Michael, just a child at the time, found himself thrust into the spotlight at a time when most kids are simply enjoying their childhood. Being a member of the Jackson 5 meant long hours of rehearsals, performances, and the constant pressure to be perfect. Michael's childhood was sacrificed for the dream of stardom. He often spoke about how his father would push him relentlessly, sometimes with harsh methods, to ensure he delivered at his best. The strict discipline in their household, combined with the intense workload of being in a top-tier musical act, shaped Michael's young mind and left him with a complicated relationship with his father. While he loved his family and wanted to be successful, the lack of a normal childhood weighed heavily on him. He missed out on basic experiences, friends, fun, and simply being a kid. Instead, he was always in front of a camera, under the microscope of public opinion, even when he wasn't old enough to fully understand what that meant. At just 6 years old, Michael was already being recognized for his singing talent. By the time he was 8, he was the lead singer of the Jackson 5, and the group quickly became one of the most successful pop acts of the late 1960s and early 1970s. Their first hit, I Want You Back, was released in 1969, and it was an instant success, climbing the charts to number 1. It wasn't long before the group had a string of hits, and they were in high demand. However, Michael, the star of the group, was feeling the burden of fame. The child prodigy was a spectacle, his every move and word scrutinized by the media and the public. The immense pressure that came with success left its mark on him. He began to withdraw from the spotlight, retreating into his own world, seeking solace in ways that weren't always healthy. The transition from child star to adult performer is one that many entertainers struggle with, but Michael's journey was more complicated than most. In the early 1970s, Michael began to explore his individuality, wanting to break away from the shadow of his brothers and prove that he could stand on his own as an artist. He wanted to be more than just the cute, young boy with a great voice. He wanted to prove that he had depth, emotion, and a style that was uniquely his own. This desire to break free from the image of the Jackson 5 led to his first solo album, Got to Be There, 1972. While the album was a commercial success, it did little to shake the public's perception of Michael as just another member of the famous Jackson family. But everything changed with the release of Off the Wall in 1979. Michael's solo career exploded with the success of this album, which featured a mix of pop, funk, and disco. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You marked a new era in Michael's career. For the first time, he wasn't just the lead singer of a family group, he was an international superstar in his own right. Yet, with this newfound success came new struggles. The pressures of fame and the expectations of being the perfect performer began to wear on him. Michael's personal life began to suffer as his career soared. As the years went on, his relationship with his father became even more strained. Joe Jackson had always been tough on Michael, but the older Michael got, the harder it became to reconcile his desire for love and support with his father's harsh, demanding methods. The fame, which had once been a dream come true, had become a burden. His personal life was filled with loneliness, insecurity, and fear of losing everything. As he grew older, he sought to find peace, to reclaim some semblance of control over his life. In the early 1980s, Michael took his personal struggles and transformed them into something creative. He released Thriller in 1982, an album that would go on to become the best-selling album of all time. The music, the videos, the performances, everything about Thriller was groundbreaking. With hits like Billie Jean, Thriller, and Beat It, Michael solidified his place as the king of pop. But even as he was at the height of his fame, Michael was struggling internally. His appearance began to change, and the media couldn't stop speculating about it. Rumors circulated about Michael's skin color, his nose, and his changing look, leading to widespread gossip about whether or not he had undergone surgery. This only intensified the pressure he felt, and Michael began to retreat further from the public eye. His physical changes were not only a result of his own struggles with self-image but also a reflection of the toll fame had taken on his mental health. Despite his personal challenges, Michael's ability to connect with audiences remained unparalleled. In the 1980s and early 1990s, his music spoke to people in ways that no one else's did. Songs like Black or White, Man in the Mirror, and Heal the World sent messages of unity, change, and love. His music wasn't just entertainment, it was a reflection of his desire to change the world for the better. Yet, while he preached peace, love, and understanding, his own life was often marked by pain, doubt, and an intense longing for something he couldn't quite find. As the 1990s progressed, Michael's personal and professional life continued to face challenges. He faced multiple legal battles, accusations, and scandals. These situations only deepened his desire to retreat from the public eye. But despite it all, Michael Jackson never stopped creating. Even in the face of adversity, he continued to work, to sing, to dance. His music, his art, his performances were all ways for him to communicate with the world in a way that words couldn't. The 2000s marked another shift in Michael's life. After years of legal battles and personal struggles, he began to focus on his family and his health. In 2009, he announced his comeback with the This Is It concert tour, set to be his grand return to the stage. Fans around the world eagerly awaited the chance to see Michael perform once again. His health, however, was deteriorating, and the pressure of the comeback proved too much. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away unexpectedly at the age of 50. His death sent shockwaves through the world. Millions mourned the loss of a man who had changed music forever. Michael's passing was tragic, but it also served as a reminder of the incredible talent and legacy he left behind. The king of pop, who had spent decades on stage, left us far too soon. But even in his death, Michael's music and influence continue to live on. His songs, his messages, and his art are timeless. They remind us of the power of music to heal, to bring people together, and to express the deepest parts of ourselves. Michael Jackson's story is one of triumph, struggle, and transformation. It's a reminder that even the brightest stars face challenges, that even the most successful people have moments of doubt and fear. Michael's life teaches us that success isn't just about what we achieve, it's about how we handle the obstacles along the way. He was a man who gave everything for his art, for his fans, and for the world. His journey wasn't easy, but it was real. And in the end, that's what made him a legend. Michael Jackson's legacy is not just about the music, it's about the humanity he shared with the world. Despite the struggles, despite the challenges, he remained dedicated to his art, to the people who loved him, and to the world he wanted to change. His story will continue to inspire generations to come, reminding us all of the power of love, music, and perseverance. Michael Jackson may have left the stage, but his impact will never fade. His music will continue to play, his messages will continue to resonate, and his legacy will forever live in the hearts of those who loved him. This story is for inspirational purposes only.